Are the soldiers ready?
As ready as they can be. We're asking a lot of them.
Let us begin.
All right.
Inquisitor. With an illuvion, Corypheus could cross into the Fade in the flesh.
Indeed. The Inquisitor can attest that these artifacts still work if one knows how to use them.
What happens when Corypheus enters the Fade?
Why, he will gain his heart's desire and take the power of a god. Or, and this is more likely, the lunatic will unleash forces that tear the world apart.
I won't allow it. I can't.
Indeed, should Corypheus succeed, do not doubt you would be first to feel his holy wrath.
Pardon me, but does this mean everything's lost unless we get to the Illuvian before him?
Corypheus has a head start, no matter how quickly our army moves.
We should gather our allies before we march.
Can we wait for them? We should send our spies ahead to the Arbor Wilds.
Without support from the soldiers, you'd lose half of them.
Then what should we do?
You overcome it, all three of you together. Josephine, have our allies send scouts to meet us in the wilds. Liliana, your fastest agents will join them. Together, we'll have enough spies to slow down Corypheus' army until Cullen's soldiers arrive.
Such confidence. But the Arbor Wilds are not so kind to visitors. Old elven magic lingers in those woods.
We'd be remiss to not take advantage of your knowledge, Lady Morgan. Please, lend us your expertise.
'Tis why I came here. Although it is good to see its value recognized.
Any further instructions, Inquisitor?
The Inquisition began as a handful of soldiers. Thanks to you, we're now a force that will topple a self-proclaimed god. I could ask for no finer counsel, no better guidance.
I speak for all of us when I answer. We could ask for no finer cause.
We'll hound Corypheus in the wilds before he can find the temple or this Illuvion.
Inquisitor,
How goes the battle, Captain?
the Red Templars fall beneath our blades, your worship. Commander Cullen says they're nearly finished. Our scouts saw Corypheus traveling towards an elven ruin to the north. We can clear you a path through his armies.
Do only what you must. We need enough people for a celebration when we get back to Skyhold.
We will not fail you, my lord, no matter what comes. Andraste guide you, Inquisitor.
I wonder, is it Andraste your soldiers invoke during battle, or does a more immediate name come to their lips?
They show me respect, Morrigan. No one mistakes me for the Maker.
True. You are far more likely to come to their aid than a chantry fable. But I digress. If your scouts report accurately, I believe these ruins to be the Temple of Mathal.
Which is?
A place of worship out of elven legend. If Corypheus seeks it, then the Illuvian he covets lies within. Let us hope we reach this temple before the entire forest is reduced to ash.
Your faith in your commander is well placed, Ambassador. Victory is all but in sight.
With Orlay's Imperial Guard joining us,
We are gladdened to see you, Herald. This day will be recalled for ages. We are privileged to witness the fulfillment of the Inquisition's purpose.
The sight of our Orlesian allies risking their lives here humbles me.
Your worthy cause would have friends, even if we did not will it. Men and women of faith serve you. Their favor is no less than our own, their service no less dear. With Orlais at your side, we will see you victorious against Corypheus. May you walk in the light.
Inquisitor, I hear this Illuvian lies in a temple nearby. That's where the fighting will be worse. Andraste keep you safe.
Move everyone immediately if the fighting comes closer.
You may count on it. Good luck.
Corypheus's soldiers appear to be on the defensive.
One last push and we can lick our wounds. I wonder if Corypheus will show.
Do you sense the magic crackling? Something more powerful than the Red Templars stirs.
Empress Celine's general is just down the hill, Inquisitor. He wishes to join you.
Those were Grey Wardens. They must be the last of those enslaved at Adamant.
We'll remember the men they were, and we'll avenge them.
Running, your worship. For the herald. The divine. They fall! The Red Templars fall!
There, ahead. An entire camp of Red Templars.
Look sharp. They've got archers on the wall. At your command, Herald.
There, ahead. An entire camp.
attacked by elves.
Uh-huh. But they don't look like any elves I've ever seen.
Perhaps these creatures are the reason few return from the Arbor Wilds.
stand with you, your worship.
keeping them at bay. Follow the river to the temple.
there. That must be the Temple of Mythal.
Prepare yourself, my dear. It's likely Corypheus will make an appearance.
I'd count on it. Be ready.
I hear fighting ahead.
Namilana Sabanale.
They still think to fight us, Master.
These are but remnants. They will not keep us from the Well of Sorrows.
Well of Sorrows?
Be honored. Witness death at the hands of a new god.
Cannot be.
Cross the bridge, now!
At last, Mythal's sanctum. Let us proceed before Corypheus interferes.
Yes, indeed. We all heard Corypheus say he came for the Well of Sorrows, not an Eluvian.
I am uncertain of what he referred to.
Would they be the same? Could Eluvian translate into Well of Sorrows?
No. It seems an Eluvian is not the prize Corypheus seeks. Yes, I was wrong. Does that please you? Whatever the Well of Sorrows might be, Corypheus seeks it, and thus you must keep it from his grasp.
Let's find this well before Corypheus's people do. I want to know. Corypheus returned to life. We saw him.
Yes?
Are you certain Corypheus is using the power of the Blight to make himself immortal?
Perhaps you forget. I was in Ferelden during the Fifth Blight. I have seen a true archdemon rage. How Corypheus gained the power to send his soul into blighted bodies, that is the real question.
Well, answering that question, let us destroy Corypheus for good.
Perhaps. I would suggest first dealing with the well. If Corypheus obtains it, any chance of success could be lost.
Do you know what this part of the temple was used for?
The room we stand in is a vestibule, not the temple proper. To those who knew it, perhaps this ritual was little more than a polite knock at the gate. These customs must have been as familiar to ancient elves as bowing to a queen is to you or I.
I find it difficult to picture you curtsying to anyone.
Why our dear Empress tolerated that is one of the mysteries of our age.
Why, Madam Vivian, I expected sweeter barbs from a tongue as subtle as yours. Does this place unnerve you, sir? Or is it I?
You unnerve me as would a cockroach crossing the floor, making me think new accommodations might be required.
Much better.
You said this Mythal was worshipped as a goddess?
So one assumes. What is a god but a being of immense power? The dread old gods were nothing more than dragons, after all. They rise as archdemons, and they die. Perhaps Mythal was a powerful elf, a ruler among her kind. History often plays storyteller with facts. Truthfully, I'm uncertain Mythal was even a single entity. The accounts are varied.
There are varied accounts of Mythal?
In most stories, Mythal rights wrongs while exercising motherly kindness. Let fly your voice to Mythal, deliverer of justice, protector of sun and earth alike. Other paint her as dark, vengeful. Pray to Mythal and she would smite your enemies, leaving them in agony. Whatever the truth, all accounts of Mythal end the same. Exiled to the beyond with her brethren.
What do you mean, exiled?
Tricked by the Dread Wolf, as all the elven gods were said to be, trapped in a land beyond the Fade. Many Dalish believe this is why the elves fell from grace, and their gods did not save them. Or perhaps they were simply rulers slain by Tevinter. Who can say?
You've seen the elves here. They seem odd.
Indeed. Two things are possible. One, this is a group of Dalish separated from their brethren, cultists, fanatic in their desire to keep humans away. Two, these are elves descended from the ancients, having resided here since before the fall of Arlathan. The second appears unlikely, but if true, the implications are astounding.
Is that even possible? How?
With magic, anything is possible. Whatever the truth, the Guardians successfully kept the temple a secret. They must kill all who enter, even the Dalish. A more sensible question might be, why?
Let's continue.
As you wish. I see the Red Templars have already encountered the temple's guardians.
Those elves lay an impressive ambush. Where are they?
Preparing another display of hospitality, no doubt. Why would this be here?
Something wrong?
It depicts the Dread Wolf, Fen Harel. In elven tales, he tricks their gods into sealing themselves away in the beyond for all time. Setting Fen Harel in Mythal's greater sanctum is as blasphemous as painting Andraste naked in the Chantry.
You're not the final expert on these ancient things. No one can be.
There must be reason behind the mysteries. I refuse to believe we cannot tease them out. Still, so long as the wolf's jaws cannot close around us, we may pass safely on. The Temple of Mythal, constructed in an age when elves, not men, dominated this land. They believed Mythal a goddess of justice. Elves came here to request judgment, after they proved their worth.
It's sealed.
Corypheus's lackeys managed to open it. Perhaps the altar holds a clue. It appears the temple's magics are still strong.
Is this Elven? Does it say anything about this Well of Sorrows?
I only recognize a few phrases. Ah, a Belisan, meaning place of sorrow. That must be the well. There is something about knowledge, respectful or pure. Shiven. Shivenen. 'Tis all I can translate. That it mentions the well is a good omen.
At least we know the Well of Sorrows was important.
Supplicants to Mythal would have first paid obeisance here. Following their path may aid entry.
So, good Andrastians, we offer a prayer to elven gods.
If need be, unless you do not step any place you have stepped before. There can be no vacillation. This is where petitioners walked the path of their gods. Let us see what awaits.
After you. I insist.
Hold them off!
Come on, we might catch them.
Hold a moment. While they rush ahead, this leads to our true destination. We should walk the petitioner's path as before.
Lady Morrigan was wrong about Corypheus seeking an Eluvian. Do we trust her now? While we dally with rituals, Inquisition soldiers die outside these walls. Down is swifter.
Performing these rituals may mean the difference between reaching the well before Corypheus's minions and not at all.
You're very eager to reach our destination.
Are we not all eager to stop Corypheus from achieving his mad plan?
It sounds like what you want is that well.
There is a danger to the natural order. Legends walked Thedas once, things of might and wonder. Their passing has left us all the lesser. Corypheus would squander the ancient power of the well. I would have it restored.
I wasn't expecting your answer to be so romantic.
Trust me, your surprise is matched only by my own. Mankind blunders through the world, crushing what it does not understand. Elves, dragons, magic. The list is endless. We must stem the tide, or be left with nothing more than the mundane. This I know to be true. I read more in the first chamber than I revealed. It said a great boon is given to those who use the Well of Sorrows, but at a terrible price.
What exactly did that altar say about the Well of Sorrows?
Like most elven writing, it was insufferably vague. The term I deciphered was Halam Shivanas, the sweet sacrifice of duty. It implies the loss of something personal for duty's sake, yet for those who served at this temple, a worthwhile trade.
Did you not trust me enough to tell me about this price when you read it?
I hoped to find more information. If I intended to cheat you, I would have feigned ignorance entirely. My priority is your cause, but if the opportunity arises to save this well, I am willing to pay the cost.
And gain what?
That is what we must discover. The rituals may point the way. Will you abandon these rituals, Inquisitor? Carefully. There is no return once we leap after the Templars. Yes?
I want to discuss the well again.
Oh, I see. An opportunity to use the well may not even arise. I understand this. All I meant to suggest is that, if it does, I be the one to do so. I am willing to accept the consequences.
You would pay the price for this? And you don't even know yet what it does?
We know Corypheus seeks the well and believes it valuable. We also know it to be guarded jealously, the last remnant of a culture thought dead and gone. So yes, I would take my chances, if you permit it.
What if I don't permit it? What then?
What would you propose? Leave it be? Allow another to find and take it? Someone worse, perhaps, than Corypheus?
You're better than Corypheus?
I am. Have I proven myself so unworthy of trust? The discussion may be moot. We cannot know. I only ask you to consider.
You said you want to preserve old powers. To what end? What will you do with them?
There is a struggle to control the world's future path. Can you not see it? History haunts us, Inquisitor. It seeks to resurface. Corypheus is but the first to arise. For all the evil that was, there is also good. I will fight for it. I must.
How do you know the Well of Sorrows isn't a source of evil? After all, Corypheus seeks it.
A fair point. We cannot know for certain. Yet.
I don't want you to be so eager for this unknown power. You ignore its dangers, Morgan.
I'm not a child grasping after a toy. I understand the risk of what I seek. Let us turn our attention to hunting your enemies, shall we? Discussion of the well can wait. Time to proceed to the next ritual, I should think. Yes?
Do you know what this part of the temple was used for?
It may have served as a chamber of reflection, perhaps to contemplate the righteousness of one's cause. More importantly, I suspect none were permitted beyond this area without a priest. Ancient texts claim Mythal passed judgment in the flesh, but 'twas surely the priests who proclaimed rulings here.
Why did the ancient elves insist on so many rites?
We may safely assume one did not petition high priests for Mythal's justice by strolling up and knocking. I see no more insufferable ceremony here than in a chantry.
More rituals? What are they for? Do you know?
I believe they signify an intent to lay oneself bare, to champion a cause without pity, regret, or shame. Mythal's cult was not fond of vacillation. One approached them with nothing less than complete confidence.
What happened to those who were less sure of themselves?
Legend does not say. Perhaps this place has a more gruesome history than we know.
Let's continue.
As you wish. Yes. As you wish. Yes? As you wish. Yes? As you wish.
Ritual is complete.
We are close. There is but one more path to follow. Will you abandon these rituals, Inquisitor? Think carefully. There is no return once we leap after the Templars.
Everything is lit.
So, what now?
Come, let us see if the doors have opened.
What's this?
I believe we are in the presence of the elven goddess Ondrul, Lady of the Hunt. It is said the Dalish invoke her before a chase, especially if they happen to be stalking humans.
Humans clash with elves all the time. There's blood on both sides.
I do not favor either. One hears things in an Orlesian court. Many Orlesian commanders consider skirmishes against the Dalish excellent sport.
Who is this meant to be?
Fallandine, overseer of funerals and guide to the elven dead. I have heard the Dalish invoke him on their deathbed, or before quests from which they expect no return.
People cling to whatever gives them hope when their time comes.
Perhaps that's why the Dalish sometimes refer to Fallandine as the Merciful One. Yes?
Do you know what this part of the temple was used for?
It may have served as a chamber of reflection, perhaps to contemplate the righteousness of one's cause. More importantly, I suspect none were permitted beyond this area without a priest. Ancient texts claim Mathal passed judgment in the flesh, but 'twas surely the priests who proclaimed rulings here.
Let's continue.
As you wish. Tis not what I expected. What was this chamber used for?
We're being watched.
Vanavis. You are unlike the other invaders. You bear the mark of magic, which is familiar. How has this come to pass? What is your connection to those who first disturbed our slumber?
They are my enemies as well as yours.
I am called Abelas. We are sentinels, tasked with standing against those who trespass on sacred ground. We wake only to fight, to preserve this place. Our numbers diminish with each invasion. I know what you seek. Like all who have come before you, you wish to drink from the Vira Belasan.
The place of the Way of Sorrows. He speaks of the well.
It is not for you. It is not for any of you.
So, you're elves from ancient times? Before the Tevinter Imperium destroyed Arlathan?
The Shemlin did not destroy Arlathan. We Elven warred upon ourselves. By the time the doors to this sanctuary closed, our time was over. We awaken only when called, and each time find the world more foreign than before. It is meaningless. We endure. The Virabella-san must be preserved.
What is this Virabella-san exactly?
It is a path. One walked only by those who toiled in Mithal's favor.
He speaks of priests, perhaps.
More than that, you need not know.
We did not come here to fight you, nor to steal from your temple.
I believe you. Trespassers you are, but you have followed rites of petition. You have shown respect to Mithal. If these others are enemies of yours, we will aid you in destroying them. When this is done, you shall be permitted to depart. And never return.
Consider carefully. You must stop Corypheus, yes, but you may also need the well for your own.
I accept your offer.
You will be guided to those you seek. As for the Virabella-san, it shall not be despoiled, even if I must destroy it myself.
No!
Morgan!
Left someone behind. A handy guide, maybe?
Mitholan asked.
That's helpful, since Morrigan chased off on her own.
Dear Morrigan left to use the well herself, undoubtedly.
place looks untouched.
I've seen Orlesian palaces with less gold. What did the ancient elves do here?
Penshra, Gilas Velathan.
I think she wants us to go back.
Just a quick look around. Sentinels are holding off the Red Templars.
Glad we're not between them.
Vier Sumiel.
Well of Sorrows.
Finally!
Maker's balls. Fight on! An army of these bastards won't stop us! How will you get to the well, General?
You tough bastards. A day's march, hours of fighting, and still fierce as dragons. The Chantry never knew what it was throwing away.
Samson, sir, watch out!
Inquisitor. You and those elf things don't know when to stop. We come to the back end of nowhere. And here you are.
Leading the Inquisition takes me to all sorts of interesting places.
You came too far this time. Corypheus chose me twice. First as his general, now as the vessel for the Well of Sorrows. You know what's inside the well? Wisdom. The kind of wisdom that can scour a world. I give it to Corypheus, that he can walk into the Fade without your precious anchor.
What's your part in it? What's a vessel?
What else empties a well? I'll carry its power to Corypheus. One more task entrusted to me. Being force-fed Chantry lyrium was good for something. This armor makes me a living fortress, mind and body. I won't forget a word of the well's knowledge. Corypheus will be unstoppable.
Once Corypheus is that powerful, you and your soldiers will just slow him down.
Is that the best you could do? You're no match for Corypheus. Even if you drink from the well, you'll never master its wisdom as he could. This is the strength the Chantry tried to bind. But it's a new world now, with a new god. I will bring Corypheus the well's power and your head, all at once. To arms! show you bastards! There we are. Watch your flank! Pay for that! You can't take it from Corypheus. You mustn't.
Still alive, huh? That's some damn good armor.
We can take him back to Skyhold for judgment. Abelard!
You heard his parting words, Inquisitor. The elf seeks to destroy the Well of Sorrows.
So the Sanctum is despoiled at last.
You would have destroyed the well yourself, given the chance.
To keep it from your grasping fingers. Better it be lost than bestowed upon the undeserving.
Fool. You'd let your people's legacy rot in the shadows.
Corypheus needed Samson to use the well. Without him, there's no vessel to claim it.
The moment we leave, he will send more forces to secure this place. The well clearly offers power, Inquisitor. If that power can be turned against Corypheus, can you afford not to use it?
Do you even know what you ask? As each servant of Mythal reached the end of their years, they would pass their knowledge on through this. All that we were, all that we knew, it would be lost forever.
It's better that knowledge remain in the well, never passed on. You'd rather destroy it?
You have shown respect to Mythal, and there is a righteousness in you I cannot deny. Is that your desire? To partake of the Vira Belasan as best you can? To fight your enemy?
Gifts like this don't come freely.
No boon of Mythal was ever granted without cost. The Vira Belasan may be too much for a mortal to comprehend. Brave it if you must. But know you this. You shall be bound forever to the will of Mythal.
Bound to a goddess who no longer exists, if she ever did.
Bound as we are bound. The choice is yours.
Is it possible this Mythal might still exist?
Anything is possible.
Elven legend states that Mythal was tricked by Fen-Harel and banished to the Beyond.
Elven legend is wrong. The Dreadwolf had nothing to do with her murder.
Murder? I said nothing of...
She was slain, if a god truly can be. Betrayed by those who destroyed this temple. Yet the Virabella-san remains. As do we. That is something.
Are you leaving the temple?
Our duty ends. Why remain? It may be that only Uthenera awaits us. The blissful sleep of eternity never to awaken, if fate is kind.
Could come with us. Fight Corypheus. He killed your people.
We killed ourselves. Long ago.
You'll note the intact Illuvian. I was correct on that count, at least.
Is it still a threat? Can Corypheus use it to travel the Fade?
You recall when I took you through my Illuvian, I said each required a key? The well is the key. Take its power, and Mythal's last Illuvian will be no more use to Corypheus than glass. I did not expect the well to feel so... hungry.
Let's not be reckless. I don't want anyone hurt.
I am willing to pay the price the well demands. I am also the best suited to use its knowledge in your service.
Do not trust her, Inquisitor. She's a parasite, only here because she sensed a meal more hearty than you.
Said by one whose only motive for joining the Inquisition was altruism.
Is it altruism or sense not to plunge headfirst into a power you don't remotely understand?
Why should I be refused, when the reasons to allow it are sound? Of those present, I alone have the training to make use of this. Let me drink, Inquisitor.
What training makes you so qualified?
I have studied the oldest lore. I have delved into mysteries of which you could only dream. Can you honestly tell me there is anyone better suited?
What about you, Vivienne?
If anyone, it should be you. The mark on your hand may protect you.
I don't know who's better suited, and neither do you.
I have the best chance of making use of the well. For everyone. Let me drink.
You're not concerned about the price? Bound forever to the will of Mythal?
Bound to the will of a dead god? It seems an empty warning. Perhaps a compulsion yet remains. Who can say otherwise? I do not fear it, even so.
Are you sure you want this, Morrigan? We don't know what will happen.
We do not, and yet it must be done. I am ready.
Thoughts?
I would not trust the power in that well with anyone but you, my dear.
I trust you with this power more than her. But it's not for me to decide. You're asking me? This is a lot of... weird... I barely understand how any of this works.
Enough deliberation. Give me your decision.
Looking at it, listening to it. That's not just knowledge from the ancient elven priests. It's their will.
How would you know such a thing?
That's what Abelas was telling us. The collective will of the priests puts anyone who drinks under a compulsion, a gas. Can't you feel it?
That would match the legends, but it does not tell us what the gas entails. I would still use the well, but you are right. We must be cautious.
It's yours. Are you all right?
Elasin Salah. Visan Allah. I am intact. There is much to sift through. But now we can...
Through the mirror.
It is done.
I'm pleased to report we won the battle, Inquisitor. When you went through that mirror, Corypheus and his archdemon fled the field. I'm not sure why.
What he wanted was no longer within the temple.
Perhaps. He spent so long trying to get into the temple, he probably couldn't have helped his forces by that point.
Then Corypheus is finished.
If he is wise, he will hide and rebuild his strength before he attacks again.
He will not hide.
And I won't hide from him.
He knows this, and will act accordingly.
And how could you have such insight into his plans?
The Well of Sorrows held many voices, and they speak to me now from across the ages. They hold wisdom, secrets I never dreamed possible. But even they fear what Corypheus has become.
Should we fear him more than his army?
Possibly. Luckily for you, he has a weakness. The dragon he calls is not truly an archdemon. It is a dragon in which Corypheus has infested part of his being. He doubtless did so out of pride to emulate the gods of old. That pride can be exploited. Kill the dragon, and his ability to leap into other bodies is disrupted. He can be slain.
You're sure? If there are no bodies for him to jump to...
You assume there is a limit to the range of his power. There is not.
Then what do you propose? Killing the dragon is no simple task, if it could even be found.
There is a way to defeat the dragon, to match Corypheus in his power. The Well whispers it to me now. Your help will be required, Inquisitor. Speak to me when you are ready, and we shall begin.
I'll see to Skyhold's defenses in the meantime.
Has either of you noticed the change in Morrigan? I fear for her.
Fear for her, rather than fearing what she will do. You do care.
I would have concern for anyone who came into contact with that thing. Let's see what we have. Inquisitor.
Inquisitor.
You learn fast, but then you need to.
Magnificent. Oh, suddenly, it all makes sense. I now understand the nuance behind elven words. The ancient lore reveals patterns I would never have suspected. 'Tis exhilarating, the rush of images. Truth dangling just out of reach.
Tell me more.
Take the Illuvians. It was always assumed their use was lost after the Tevinter conquest of Arlathan. But the ancient elves had closed all paths to the crossroads long before. They warred with themselves, and the Illuvians were sealed to prevent an enemy from using them to attack. So much is misunderstood. It would take years to absorb, if I get the chance.
And that's good, right?
For the moment. With luck, the concerns we shared over the well's price shall remain meaningless. Earlier, I said there was a way to match the power of Corypheus, Inquisitor, and there is. We must summon Mathal.
Didn't you say that Mythal was long dead? Or a myth?
Whatever Mathal was, goddess, myth, or ancient being, the voices of the well say a part of her power lingers on. How, or in what form, I cannot say, but that power is exactly what we need. I must go to an altar in the wilderness to perform the summoning, and you must be with me.
You don't need me for some ritual sacrifice, I hope.
The altar could have a guardian or other surprises. Thus, your company would be best. Imagine what we will learn, Inquisitor. Some would give their lives to unearth secrets such as this. The altar awaits our visit, Inquisitor. Everything I have done since leaving Ferelden has led me to this. Think of all we will learn.
I'd like to know more about you.
If you have questions, then ask.
I leave you to the garden.
Until next time, then.
This is the place?
It is. Look for an altar. Ancient, but still standing. There! Do you see it? "'Tis all that remains of the great altar. We few who travel far call to me and I will come, without mercy, without fear."
Strange that there wasn't an altar like this at Mythal's temple. The temple was a place of justice, but this is different. This was where the elves called to her, spoke to her.
Then one day she disappeared, and there was no one with whom to speak. Your companions will need to go elsewhere. Not to worry, if there is shouting, they will hear it readily enough. You know who I am. From High Priest to High Priest, I am the last to drink of sorrows. Come to us, Mythal. Whatever you are, whatever remains, I invoke your name and your power. Mother.
Mother?
Now, isn't this a surprise?
I take it you know her.
She is a deceiving witch!
Now, that's quite enough of that.
What have you done to me?
I have done nothing. You drank from the well of your own volition.
Then you are Mythal?
That's Mythal?
You invoke that name so easily. I wonder if you know what it means.
I do not understand. How can you be Mythal?
Once I was but a woman, crying out in the lonely darkness for justice. And she came to me, a wisp of an ancient being, and she granted me all I wanted and more. I have carried Mythal through the ages ever since, seeking the justice denied to her.
Then you carry Mythal inside you?
She is a part of me, no more separate than your heart from your chest. You hear the voices of the well, girl. What do they say?
They say you speak the truth.
But what was Mythal? A legend given name and called a god? Or something more? Truth is not the end, but a beginning. A herald indeed, shouting to the heavens, harbinger of a new age. As for me, I have had many names, but you may call me Flemeth.
Then you're Mythal and Morrigan's mother.
As well as a witch who prolongs her unnatural life by possessing the bodies of her daughters.
That's what you believe, is it?
I found your grimoire, and I am no fool, old woman.
Yet here you stand, bound into my service. My daughter ran from me long ago. I've let her be, until now, it seems.
If Mythal is within you, why not reveal yourself?
And to whom should I reveal myself?
To the elves, to everyone.
I knew the hearts of men even before Mythal came to me. It is why she came to me. They do not want the truth, and I am but a shadow, lingering in the sun.
Why did Mythal come to you?
For a reckoning that will shake the very heavens.
And you follow her whims. Do you even know what she truly is?
You seek to preserve the powers that were, but to what end? It is because I taught you, girl. Because things happened that were never meant to happen. She was betrayed as I was betrayed, as the world was betrayed. Mythal clawed and crawled her way through the ages to me, and I will see her avenged! Alas, so long as the music plays, we dance.
We summoned you because we need your help.
Against the Magister who grasps beyond his reach. Yes, I know. The voices did not lie, Morrigan. I can help you fight Corypheus. Do you understand, child?
Yes. I think I do. Wait!
I wish to see who drank from the Well of Sorrows. It has been a very long time. Imagine my surprise to discover it was you.
And that is all?
A soul is not forced upon the unwilling, Morrigan. You were never in danger from me.
All things considered, Inquisitor, I now wish you had drunk from the well.
Will you be all right?
I am uncertain. What she said is true, at least. I have the answer to your problem. I can match the Archdemon's power when the time comes. All that remains is for you to find Corypheus. Mother must be very pleased. If I see her again, I will have no choice but to do every single thing she commands. I feel certain what happened at the Temple of Mathar must somehow have been her influence.
As I recall, you insisted on drinking from the well.
Which she would have known I would do.
So it's all a conspiracy. Corypheus too.
Why not? He must have acquired that elven orb somewhere. I suppose we have little choice but to proceed, and be thankful she assisted us at all.
Do you trust what Flemeth told us?
About what she is? I am uncertain. I knew there was more to her than I realized, that she was not truly human. This? I once found her grimoire, and that was where I learned her immortality was gained by stealing the bodies of her daughters. Flemeth claims I misunderstood. It is not forced on the unwilling. Meaning I might agree to such a thing? Impossible, yet there seemed an undeniable sense of truth to the things she told us. All my years spent hunting for arcane mysteries, and the greatest was the one I left behind.
So what do you intend to do now?
Once Corypheus is defeated, I will undoubtedly move on. Where I will go is uncertain. I must consider the fact that Flemeth may yet have plans for me. I am, after all, her servant. Such a delight. Yet we must now consider the coming battle. I hope all I learned from the well proves worthwhile.
I leave you to the garden.
Until next time, then.